What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So for this trailer review, it's an interesting name for a film, for a horror film, any film for that matter. It's one of those words that I think this generation has grabbed onto, and I can't stand the word and especially how it's used. But the fact that now we have a horror film using the same name is a bit much for me. Nonetheless, we're going to do the review like we still would. I mean, I'm not going to allow the name to deter me, but I just setting the precedent that it's just one of those words that just irks me. So Joseph Kahn's ICK trailer spreads creature feature mayhem ahead of July release. So I mean, you hear people say, oh, this gives me the ick, or that gives me the ick. It's just again one of those words I just can't stand, especially when people say the word like all the time, and it feels as if they use that term every other word. For example, if they say I like this, and like, you know, and like over there, and like, it's as if they don't have another term to use, or they're not processing what else they can say about something, so they have to include or use that, utilize that word, and that falls in the same category as the term ick for me. So not to get on that soapbox, because I could go on for ages just on things like that. So as we always do with any horror trailer, we're going to jump into the article details, pull up the trailer, give our initial thoughts on it. And I imagine just from the looks of this first image that this is coming from the trailer. It's an interesting image of a cow. I mean, it is obviously a cow, but I don't know if this is supposed to be a zombie cow, a cow with some sort of disease. Have no idea. So hopefully we'll get an idea from the trailer. So Detention director Joseph Kahn makes his horror comedy return with a pulpy creature feature ick, and Fathom Entertainment has dated the film for theatrical release this summer. Now, I didn't anticipate that this is a horror comedy from the article headline, so I guess that's where we're going with this. Fathom will screen ICK in select theaters in New York, Los Angeles for a 1-week theatrical run starting Thursday, July 24th, before expanding to theaters nationwide July 27th through the 29th. So I'm not sure if that is implying that this is just going to be a limited theatrical run for that particular time frame, or if that's just the weekend it's dropping. I mean, we can check to see real quickly if that, I mean, I'd imagine that is, yeah. So actually that could be a limited theatrical run, because July 27th through the 29th is just a Sunday through a Tuesday. So that doesn't seem to be a very expanded run, because that obviously Thursday, July 24th. So I'm not sure if that's what that's implying. Watch the trailer below for an idea of the creature feature madness ahead, as well as an earworm soundtrack featuring All American Rejects, Paramore, and Blink 182. We have casting here. We're not reading off names. Let's see. In the film, for almost 2 decades, a vicious vine-like growth known colloquially as the ick has begrudgingly crept into every nook and cranny of American life, while the residents of small-town Eastbrook remain blasé about its existence. The exceptions are former high school football star turned hapless science teacher Hank and his satirically prospective student Grace, who are thrown together by Grace's mom Stacy, closely guarded secret, and a mutual suspicion that the ick is about to unleash some monstrous mayhem. Okay, that screams horror comedy to me. I mean, that synopsis doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but hopefully the trailer explains a little bit more. A wild ride driven by a power punk spirit, ICK is a dizzyingly fun and hilariously grotesque homage to throwback PG horror flicks, as well as an ode to millennial nostalgia manifested in soundtrack needle drops by All American Rejects, Paramore, and Blink 182. All right, so let's go down a little bit more. More casting, more names, producers, things of that nature. Fathom is thrilled to bring the award-winning creature feature and horror comedy ICK to the big screen, said Ray Nutt, Chief Executive Officer for Fathom Entertainment. With the talented Joseph Kahn at the helm, a great cast, and an incredible rock soundtrack, the highly anticipated ICK is primed to have wide appeal to many fan bases and be popular addition to the summer slate. Okay. Joseph Lipset wrote in, okay, we're not reading that, that's a review. No, we don't read that stuff. No poster, just an image from the film. And if you don't know who that is, we have Brandon Roth here. Haven't seen him around in too many things, let alone a horror comedy. So let's get back to the top of the article, and as we always do. Now let's pull up this trailer and see what the ICK, a horror comedy, is going to bring us.
It holds 10 songs. I put all our favorites on it.
Promise me you'll take me with you to the NFL, to a giant mansion with a giant pool that has a fat hot tub that's connected to the giant pool so I can swim from hot to cold whenever I want.
Yes. I love you, Stacy. Just takes a second.
Did you see Charlie's TikTok about how the ICK is pure gluten?
What's gluten? The ICK is just franken-food GMO set free from Monsanto lab. That's why I only eat organic.
Mr. Wallace, why aren't we talking about the ICK?
You thought your problems were gone.
Okay, Grace. Let's talk about the ICK.
After decades in stasis, the intracellular kinoplasm known as ICK has reached its kinetic state. Barricade your doors and your windows. Stop up your sinks and your drains. Again, do not go outside.
Our kids can still go to prom tomorrow, right?
Yeah, you should definitely cancel prom.
False flag! Crisis actor! Grace, I need to tell you something. I might be your dad.
Shit!
Next joint is for all the lovers out there. This is the song your parents conceived you to. Maybe the rubber broke. Maybe there was no rubber.
ICK is harmless. ICK sees our value. We chose. For those it does not value, it consumes.
Run! Arm yourselves, whatever you can carry. Get ready for a fight! Come on.
You could have just opened it. I mean, that was super dramatic and all, but now we have to crawl over broken glass.
So it definitely, based on what the article had mentioned, it in my opinion, it absolutely hits on the nostalgia, especially if you grew up around that time, late 90s, 2000s, when a lot of this music was very popular. I immediately just remembered a lot of that, just the songs that were being played. Even in the film, it feels like it's playing off, because I think in the beginning it says sometime in the early 2000s, and then present day. I'm not sure what present day is going to be, how much of a time jump we're doing there. But I mean, obviously, some of the scenes that stood out the most when Brandon Roth is still in high school. He's a football player. Ankle is broken. That was a pretty cool scene just to see that up close. Then we see the time jump where now he's a teacher at the same school I'm sure he went to. We did see the cow exploding by getting hit by a car. One thing I do find interesting, which being an 80s, 90s kid, which was something we never worried about, and they called out very specific here when the kids were all in the cafeteria and they say, "What's gluten?" And then one of the other kids starts going into details about why he eats organic. Yeah, gluten was never a thing when I grew up. You didn't know what gluten was. It wasn't even a word that was even remotely used. I'm not sure what's happened but over the last 30, 40 years where now everyone's got a gluten allergy. Things need to be gluten-free. there could be gluten 2 blocks away, and if it gets in the air, someone's going to have a reaction to it. I'm not sure what's happened, but I just thought that was interesting as well, because again, that was something we never worried about, especially in schools. You ate whatever the school, especially if you were eating a school lunch or breakfast or something, you pretty much ate whatever they just served you. Gluten wasn't a worry. Even a peanut allergy really wasn't even a worry back then. Not to say they didn't exist back then, it just wasn't something that was commonly heard or talked about all that much. This film, I mean, it looks pretty entertaining. I'll say, I mean, I'm not a big horror comedy person, but unless it's a film that's obviously leaning right into the fact that it knows what it is, I do think it's interesting how the film is set up to, it's like, as the article mentioned, everyone in the town knows about the ick. They know about this, and for whatever reason, nothing's ever been done. Now it's coming about, and now they realize, oh, now we gotta take precautions. The ick is like coming back, or we know about it. We need to do something, and people are more worried about going. Or parents are more worried about their kids going to prom than whatever this ick thing is that's going to kill them. So very much leaning into the aspect of the comedy pieces of this film. Very much like one of the films we did a trailer review on, we followed on, did a movie review on, the Gothic Slayers, another more recent horror comedy that we delved into, which I thought was very entertaining. I feel this is going to be one of those, again, very much, it knows what it is. It knows what it's trying to achieve from a horror comedy perspective. It's not going to shy away from that. So we don't see too many of these come about, so I'm interested to see it. If it was just named something different, I mean, again, it's just one of those terms I just can't get behind. If it was called anything else, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But again, I won't allow that to deter me. We'll still see the film. We'll still come back and do a spoiler review on it once it's available. Again, I'm not sure if this is a limited theatrical run just based on the dates that it's given. If it is, then we'll just have to wait for streaming or digital and go from there with our spoiler review. So drop a comment in the comments section. Let us know what you think about the horror comedy Ick, starring Brandon Roth, brought to us by Joseph Kahn. Again, coming in, I think it was end of July, July 27th through the 29th is what it said the dates were. So check your local listings. Again, I'm not sure if this is a limited theatrical run, but either way, drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Ick, if it's something you're down for, or if it's just not your cup of tea. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Later.